first thing, thanks to all the organizers. I'm really appreciate, and I'm with the Q&A community maybe more than 5 years, because I think when I was MVP and Nandi was MVP, we were MVP at the same time, last 4 years, 5 years back, and then I was doing a lot of sessions with Nandeep and the Pune community. I feel that I feel at home when I talk to this community. Amazingly good questions and a lot of things. At times I got stuck also, because the Microsoft technologies are always something new, right? Which also Nandeep, Siddharth also said, keep on learning. So I keep to answer all the things. So I just to give you opportunity towards the end. You can ask questions, but if you feel that burning questions, we can just hold the put questions on the thing. I will reply to you. Okay. So before we do anything, let me share what I have, guys. I'm firm believer of demos, but I think there's a lot of concepts which are important to take note, which is I will think that I will share the slide deck with you. I also shared with the Purity community as well. And you said I'm very lot of updates I put on. So tomorrow or by Monday, you can see the slide deck and all the things on my GitHub repo, so that you can see the things step by step. All the things which I'm sharing with you, I put step by step guide that if you want to follow, you can do it without any things. One thing to take to note: Microsoft keep changing the UI. 1 week 2 weeks back, so I was doing update on the my PPT, and then on the my documentation, I found, okay, this UI is changed. So I had to update yesterday. So that is something which we have to understand. But principles are always same. So I firm believer that principle don't change. UI keep changing. So if you don't understand the principles, that is a good thing to understand. Now, a lot of talks. Let me discuss about what I'm talking about. So we're talking about something called as is Azure AI Studio. It has come. I was a preview couple of months, and now in the Ignite they make it available. And there's one concept which last year there's something there was there's no ChatGPT was on private preview. ChatGPT was in a private preview. Only few customer can see, and I was very privileged to work with Microsoft. I was with Microsoft for a couple of years, so I won 1 year, and then I found that the AI thing was so good. And did a lot of sessions with people in Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, and there was very integrate about the AI scope. So my skill set are Power Platform and AI, and I'm wanting to do more sessions because in my organization I also do AI sessions as well. Okay, so about myself, one thing with that, when you move to Microsoft, you lost your MVP title. So I'm alumni now. So I'm working on the become MVP again. Let's see what happens. But at least yeah, I'm still have MCT. I just work on the Microsoft text technologies. I love sharing it, and that's why you see the things. I'm very happy that we have so many people in this session, and I will give you all my knowledge which I have gathered. And if I can't give, I will contact you that, okay, this is the way you should do, right? Like that. So we talk about, I think I can't make time because I have a lot of things. I think we have to might split into 2 sessions for the prompt flow, because I think I just have put part 1 because I think I can't make time for this session. I will make part 2 later on. So we work on what is the prompt flow, how we can use it, why we using it. That is something more crucial, right? Why we using technology? That is the purpose for that. Then we have to understand how we can use it and how is it different. Yeah, sorry, somebody speaking. I didn't. Can you somebody mute? Yeah. Can you please?
Yeah, I did that. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Sorry. So that, yeah. So then, how is different with the Copilot Studio? I have seen so many sessions with many community members and all things. So I make a slide that, okay, how the Azure AI Studio and the Copilot Studios are different. They are major use cases different. So I will see that one. And then we built a new flow, right? We see how it can work. I work in the temple. I work on the template. Sorry, work on the template. Which the Microsoft provided, and then we work on the next session on the how we can better customize ourselves, right? That is the main next session, because I think the time I have, I won't be sufficing, right? So we see that one. And then we see the demos, and then I want to show end to end how you can use the prompt flow, Azure prompt flow for a use case which can be making easy for you to understand. Okay. Okay. Now, first thing first, many people ask me that again. I'm the community. I'm a big. A lot of people ask me in LinkedIn, also in different forums that Aroh, what is the difference between Copilot Studio and the Azure prompt flow? Are they not same? I said no, they are completely different. So one thing is that when we work on the, I hope again, I hope that most of the people know what is Copilot Studio. uh, don't worry if you don't know. I will give you one slide about differences. But let's I assume most of the people know that one, right? So it's almost to go to the 1 year. So as I told you, most of the people know that what is a Copilot Studio. I will work on something different on that, right? So first thing is about the why we use prompt flow is many reason. I may say there are many reasons, but I find the couple of reasons which are I feel is very important is about the simplify the AI model, right? Integration, right? So example, I want to integrate with uh, uh, one cloud service which is non-Azure, but I want to use some kind of integration with Azure services as well. I mean, multi-cloud. How we can do it? It's not difficult, but something have to be done. And even Copilot Studio can do, but it has a limit as well. So one thing why we are using uh, Azure Prompt Flow is because it's very simple, simplify end-to-end solution, which I show in the demo, so that you can see everything in one place, right? So that is a simplification which we can do, right? One thing to take note, you need a Python coding experience. Okay, in my experience, in my thing, I won't show the experience. I show a template and how the template with Python we can use it. So at least you have an idea. In this next section, I show about end-to-end how can build it. But this is because it's an intro session. I give you the gist how why we're using Azure Planflow. First thing is still simplification, right? Simplification, the first thing. Second is integration, right? How we can integrate with other services. So I mentioned about the we can integrate with obviously cloud services. We can integrate with other non-Microsoft services as well. So make life easy because if you have these two different services, multi-cloud will be difficult. But here, Azure Prompt Flow can do it, right? And the third thing is which may have a capability thing for the Copilot Studio specifically. I'm talking about low code, no code solutions. Low code, no code solutions are always good, right? However, it has a limit as well that how things you can do. So the good thing about the prompt flow that you work as a developer. This session is not a beginner session. Is actually it's a intermediate session because I'm talking about Python. I'm talking about some skill set which I assume as a big assumption that you know about basic Percy, right? That is something I'll talk about. So this is a not a beginner, but I give you some resources that you can revive if the basics of the Azure as well. Okay, so third thing is the customizations, right? You can do all things you with Azure Prompt Flow, right? You can do it with the coding, you can do with the Azure UI flow, or you can do with all the things with SDK as well. All three options are available for you, right? So that is something which I'm telling you about. There's some why we using Prompt Flow is most typically 100% for the customization. Customization flexibility is a key for the Prompt Flow. Okay. I give it two use cases, you get the point as well, right? Now assume that you want to make a um sorry, you want to make a chatbot, right? A customer service chatbot, and they are maybe multiple countries, US, Europe, Asia, and Japan, and other places, right? And your data is into different places. One is SharePoint, one is to CRM system and all, and the people are using different systems, right? The end users are different users and all. So, wow, how we can do it? Obviously, we can do Copilot Studio, but if you know that capability of Copilot Studio have a limit, right? So, Copilot Studio and Azure, I'm talking about that one difference. I have a slide for that. But if you want this prompt flow, all things you can do. One thing which Copilot Studio can do, benchmarking, right? There's a company called benchmarking, which model can suffice. That Copilot Studio can't do at this point of time. Maybe they have later. But in the prompt flow, you can see the benchmarking, which model will better surprise your model. Right now, in Copilot Studio, we typically use curated ChatGPT models and all. But now in OpenAI, in Azure AI Studios, you can integrate just not OpenAI, but also integrate with Mistral and Hugging Face open source models and all. That is give you more capability, more flexibility when you work on Azure side. So that is a point of flexibility which I mentioned previously, right? Second thing is you can do lot of things with the query and resolution. Think about people who are working 24/7. The chatbot can help in that, right? And this is a very big question mark that if you have a cost reduction, it will be lower the operation cost, but job loss could be also there, right? So that's why I'm going to tell you that cost reduction also impact jobs as well. So I mean, I'm not going to that route, the HR side, but for the business is very good, right? Help to users to customize and reduce the cost. It will really help in that. Okay. Then another example is about tailor-made. Think about marketing companies, right? There are many large companies in India, USA, and all. They have big, large companies, right? So they can make their own marketing messaging at scale, right? That is very easily. They can also use something called as a customer behavior, right? How they can do it. And again, because of the thanks to Azure machine learning, they can do A/B testing. Now, Aroh, what is A/B testing? The A/B testing is a dog or not dog, or is chicken or not chicken. That is an example, right? This is something started with many years back. So, example, what is the A/B testing? Is something two applications which is working together. Example, I have one version of an app, and then I see the testing, and then found that many users are not using it. But my other version of the app, that is version B, is more people are using it. So I will go for the B testing, the version which is more people are liking it. So that is the version A. You can think as a original AI system, a model. But when you have inputs from other users and all, you have some fine tuning. Then you have version B of the AI model. That is called the improved version, which the user can test it or the end user will use it. So that is called A/B testing. That is a very old-fashioned AI model. Before it's a 56 1956 the model was there, but now because of the chat GPT and all, people are now leveraging about what is A/B testing is very common now in the Azure AI Studio as well, right? So we see in the demos as well. Okay, now what we see, why I showed about the why. Now what I'm going to focusing on the three things. One is the why, what, and then how, right? Now I have actually catered to why we're using. The main reason for why is because of the customization and flexibility which other models we can capture, right? Just not OpenAI, we can use other models. That is a very amazingly good tool which we can use it. And the second is what is prompt flow? So again, in the from the terms perspective view, is that it can do a lot of things for us, right? It gives end-to-end development for us for the your LLM applications. So for my any LLM applications, whether it's OpenAI or whether it's a Hugging Face or anything from Facebook, I can do it, right? Thanks to the OpenAI Studio, we can do it that one. So I can develop any applications for different models and also have some kind of a prompt engineering with that. So this is development skill set. Okay, so I can say that developer. I also as an architect, but I mean I'm more towards the architect level right now because doing for many years about the architect. But I have a love for coding as well. I think Siddharth also into pure coding as well. So I'm just want to share that development is always the key thing any application, right? The only thing right now is for the prompt flow is only the code is required is Python. I think maybe Microsoft maybe include more coding experience, maybe C Sharp or other Node.js and all. But right now we have only Python. Okay. Now, what about the fine tuning? So there, one option is fine tuning, right? So we can have, I mentioned about A/B testing. If one version of the model doesn't work well, then we have variant of that, right? That is called as a prompt engineering. I think I did a session on prompt engineering and one of the sessions as well. So that prompt engineering is a very, very big topic. A very big topic. It can have coding and also has some engineering topics as well. So I'm not going to in depth in that, but in prompt flow, prompt engineering is one of the most important factor. Okay, and then we first thing also is evaluating whether our our data, our model is grounded or not. Now, what is grounded? Grounded means that the data which we have is correct information. Example, 2nd October is Gandhiji's birthday, but our model said it's not 2nd October, it's a 10th October. Example, I mean, very bad example here, but our which means our model, our it's not grounded, it's ungrounded, right? So we always look for the grounded and slightly more precise data, that model. So there is an evaluation which we can do in the AI model inside the Azure OpenAI. Okay, and the last thing which we can do is about we can deploy. Once we do test, we do some fine tuning. Then when anyways we have to application to deploy it. Could be your Power Platform, could be your Azure application, or could be any system. Then we can have to deploy. So that thing also the prompt flow we can do it. Right. So all four things we can do. We can develop, we can do fine tuning, we can do testing, and also do something called as a deployment and monitoring the application. Example, I get an example. I get an example. People have to think about Power Apps, right? I'm big. I use Power Apps a lot in that. After 6 months, right, the app becomes slower. You must be knowing why. The reason is because it's not published yet, not published. So all the new features with Microsoft released, right, are not there. So we have to republish the app. Okay, so we have to always monitor any app, whether it's Azure AI app, Power Platform, or any application within Azure, anything on the cloud, we have to monitor, right? So that is very important to take note of that, right? So again, what is prompt flow is mostly used for the creating end-to-end solution, and it has four capabilities. It can develop, it can have giving prompt engineering and also testing and evaluation. And the fourth thing, which is can help in deploying and monitor the entire application. So I think about entire life cycle of the application, right? Whether it's a Power Platform, Azure application, Power BI is an end-to-end life cycle I'm talking about with the prompt flows perspective. Okay. Now, Aroh, what is this thing? Don't worry, this is a mix of all the things, right? If you have you seen Visual Copilot Studio or PVA, we have similar kind of graph with that, right? And this is the coding part, which I will show in the demo. We will use the LLM, we use prompts, we use Python, we use all the things. But don't worry, I will give you a template so that you can have an idea, and then also give a screenshot on Monday that you can see step by step how I did it. So it's easier. You can see the step by step guide and you can replicate it at your Azure tenant. Okay. Now, let me go through about a basic concepts. I think the basic concepts are super crucial. It's about principles, right? Principles don't change. Documentation and UI change. So I believe in principles to be pretty firm, right? So first thing about flows, right? Aroh, what is different between Power Automate flows and this one? So there are major differences actually. I don't won't talk about that. I make a description about how Power Automate and Azure Power Flow are difference. I have a screenshot of that later. But flows here is a totally different. I'm talking about the Copilot Studio is totally different. I'm talking about the actual coding, right? So when you put the flows, I'm talking about the end-to-end solution, right? So when you do a code, there's something called as nodes, right? And the nodes, what is a node? Node is something called as an application through which you can go through. Example, I want to execute a data processing using Dataverse, right? I want to do some kind of scheduling, example, in Azure, right? Or I want to do some LLM calls for OpenAI. These are the nodes, right? And these nodes connect with just like a Power Automate, right? We can just have a complete actions. We can call compose action. We can do send email. We can do some parse JSON. Same thing we can do here. Similar concept, but in a different way, right? So let me show the thing. So this is a if you've seen the Power Automate, right? Similar kind of concept is there, but we put inputs. The input could be a user calling, user query, right? Maybe I want to get a data about people uh, who are billionaire in last 1 year, right? Obviously, ChatGPT can give as well, but now I'm talking about something more customization. I can just not OpenAI, I can use Hugging Face, OpenAI service, another service, but it's open sourced. OpenAI, although its name is OpenAI, but it's a closed service, which means you can't have your source code in there, right? Meta and Hugging Face, they have OpenAI, they have a service which you can see the code, right? So that's what I'm telling you. So they are models. So that's what I'm talking about. Open this input side could be any service, could be a Hugging Face, any other LLM model I can call, right? And then these are things we can do. The third thing, the types of flow. Again, I show the demo step by step how it works, but there are three types of flow, not Power Automate flow. I'm talking prompt flows. There are three types. One is a standard flow, which is totally typically used for the your general application, right? General application, we can use it. The second one is a chat flow. Your design for conversation application, right? Chatbot, like let's just the Copilot Studio, similar thing, but slightly more stronger, right? And the third one is a evaluation form. I talk about the Gandhiji example, right? Is 10th is an incorrect information. So we want to see which model gives the right answer to us, right? Is it ChatGPT's right answer or some other models? I'm just giving an example that it's just not ChatGPT. Some so many other models we can also leverage in our OpenAI services and our prompt flows, right? So these are the examples which we can see. Now, what about now? I mentioned about flows. Also, about what tools we're talking about. Tools is something called as a node. Road as we think about node. The tools is also part of the segment of the um, prompt flow, right? And we have different type of tools which we'll see the demo understanding, right? So we have LLM tool. So I can call customization of a call could be my OpenAI service or call any other services I can call. I can also use my Python code. So in this example, right, I'm sharing with you with right now we have only Python. Maybe when we extend it to maybe Microsoft added more services, we can add more. And the third one, which I'm talking about, something called as a prompt tool. So this is called a templating tool, right? So in OpenAI, sorry, in Python, we have something called as a Jinja 2 template. So if you heard about templates, right? In Power Automate, you can make templates. In Word, you can templates. So same thing actually works in Python. We call it a templating version, which is called the Jinja 2. JIGA2. That is a naming convention for creating templates in Python. Okay, and then I mentioned about others. Others I mentioned to many ways. You can use open models, LLMs. I'm talking about Facebook and Mistral and Hugging Face. These are open source models, LLMs. We can use for vector indexing. We can use for content safety. Many ways we can do it. But I didn't this example in demos. We work on these three only, right? And see how you can work together. Okay, and then obviously its input will be always like that, the input from the user and output what the some processing by the LLM so far. So these are the basics of the structure, how about what is a node, what is the input output, what is the types of flows we can do it. You get an idea and everything will be shown in the demo. You get the proper picture after that. Okay. Okay, and this is the inputs, what I can do, what I can explain, what I can code I can do. So these are the examples you will see in the demo soon. Okay, now one thing to understand, there are many ways. I mentioned to you previously, there are many ways to write the prompt flow. Okay, again, we can use Azure machine learning using the cloud user interface. We can use Azure AI UI session for that. We can use VS Code for that. And the other version is also we can use SDK as well, right? So in my, again, I want to show everything using the VS Code, but I think that many people have a lesser experience in the VS in example of the Python. So I'm going to using the template. So using template is simpler to explain the things as well. And the SDK is something which is we can also use it on that. Yeah. Dhruven, I will ask you the question later. Just give me this last slide, and then we work on the demos later, and then I'll ask you questions. Okay. Then let me about the OpenAI, right? This is something for Microsoft. I'm very proud as well that these are services which are already pre-trained, already for your AI services. The good thing this solution is that people who have no coding experience, they can also build AI applications as well. I have a one CEO, one of my colleague is working, is a CEO of the company, and in India, and he was telling me that I opened a company, I think a few months back. I said, do you have any idea what is machine learning Azure? I said, no idea, but I had people. So, I mean, people have experience and then they can do it. I would say people who are CEOs also, they can make an applications with no code solution as well, right? That's something we can do. And one thing which is very important is about responsive AI tooling. And the good thing that in the OpenAI studios, we have those functionality inbuilt. Again, inbuilt. You don't have to do anything. Obviously, you can customize if you want to, but there's already inbuilt the responsible AI. Okay. Now you have seen this thing previously, right? About many demos, everything. I mean, if you are seen the Microsoft technology, you've seen this thing many times as well, right? I want to share with you that this is typically used by the low code and or even for pro code. I'm not telling you, even I've done with the developers who are done extremely good coding, but using the Power Apps and Power Automate, everything can be done. But what Microsoft mostly pitch for that is about how you're using the low code solution and help your customers, right? Because after 2026, right, we have a shortage of the skill set of the developer skill set, right? But the people who are already know the business, they can make the application themselves. Again, people who know the business, they can make application themselves. And that's why Microsoft is promoting those people to make applications and developer for your end users. That's what the Copilot Studio can be used. Again, there's a many use cases, but the low code is the one of the key thing which Microsoft is pitching for that. Okay. Okay. Now, difference between again, Dhubil, I'll ask you. This is my last slide deck. Question about people have asking me that the when to use Copilot Studio, when to use Azure, is totally based on your use cases, right? This is question asked me again. This question asked me 5 times in my LinkedIn messages attempts at when to use Copilot Studio. So I just want to give you that I can't give you a right answer. If depends on your use cases, how many people are developers? How many people are have a experience on the low coding experience, right? If they have coding experience, if a coding experience and in very short of admins, right? No developers, go for that step because even business users can do this thing as well, right? Now, if you think that you have a team of developers who have Azure development or multi-cloud developers, then you can go for prompt flow because this need some coding experience. Also, think all the method, all the reasoning can be done in the Azure. So it's completely based on the skill set of the organization and what is your business case. Your business case is want to have data from different cloud. Obviously, prompt flow will be the right answer, right? But if you think that I want to use data only from my internal data source in my hospital industry or financial industry, and then I can use Copilot Studio, right? That is something which you can use it. So that is the main difference between the business case could be totally varied. I give this answer 5 times to different people because of the they are from different verticals, different industry. One from military, I don't know how military, but again, they're from military. One from the healthcare, one from the financial institutes, one from education. So I gave those answers to them that what is the use case. Based on that, you can build the application. Okay. Now, Dhrubil, your question. Yes. 25 people here. I'm happy to say that. I think Well, very my mistake. But Siddharth, first time saw so many people inside this thing. Is it a common scenario in that in the sessions you have 20 plus sessions people attendees? Siddharth, I think that's not here. Let me just share my the things. Okay, okay. And again, slide deck. All things I will share with you later on. Right? Don't worry on this. Don't take pictures and all. I've shared all the things with you. Okay. I'm going to Discord. Okay, and let's work on the actual things, all the actual stuff. Okay, I'm going to this. So again, I'm going to portal or .azure dot. Okay, let's go to my portal. And I just want to show you that how we can go to the AI Studio. Why happening to me? Okay, okay. Now, if you want to, wait, I just put it here. Oh, at 55 minutes. I have only minutes minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you that this thing part. If you want to go AI Studio, OpenAI Studio, you have to go to AI services and then add inside, right? The service inside. Okay. But one thing I'm going to tell you, right? The quickest way is just go shortest because I also don't know, but because I mostly I go for this route because then I can get. But just click on Azure AI Studio as ai.azure.com and then it will show to you where is the chat. Okay, okay, and basis is based on my UI resulting. Okay, now let's see. I mean, now we have talked about three things. We talked about why, what, and how we can do it. Now let's see how we can actually do it now. Now how to do it, right? Let's create our new project. Okay, let me go show to you. Okay, now I'm under AI Studio. Okay, I'm under AI Studio, right? You can see, and then what I will do, I create a new project. Okay, and Aroh, what is this new AI project and how is different from other things? I give you because when I start first time learning these things and all, I also get confused. I want to just relate how we actually map it to my understanding, right? So AI project, if you know about Power Platform solutions, actually is the equivalent of that, right? In Power Platform solutions, right? We can add Power Apps, we can add PBA, we can add the security models, we can add the Power Automate inside. So this is a complete solution. So this is something called as a project. For AI project, if we add multiple AI models, we add the text model, we add the vision model, we add a lot of services. We also add in different regions. So that is will be a project for us, right? That we can use it. Okay, and then we can create a hub with that. So let me show this thing to you. Demo for Pune. Uh, G. Yeah. Okay. And then I create something called as I already have a hub. I put a third hub. Too creative, but it's okay. Okay. So I put what happened to my spelling these days? Don't worry. Okay. So this is how. So what I did, I created a new project that I host all the things inside that project. Okay. So I create that one. Put hub and I create a project. Okay. Now, what will happen is that it will create a back of the service. It will create a lot of services on the back of service. Example, if you create example, right? If you create a new Teams application, maybe many people knows about Teams, right? Teams application. When you create a new application, it will create a lot of other artifacts. Like it will create your SharePoint site, will create a OneDrive, will create Exchange online mailbox. A lot of things it will do. Okay, and then it will create a lot of other things for us. Okay, so this is something which we can do, right? So I'm just creating a project and I just show the project and then I do. Okay, now it takes some time, and because I'm creating this thing, it takes some time, right? So what I will do, I will create my settings, right? In the settings. So this is a Pune one, right? Pune. Okay. Now you see these settings are already provisioned because it's already created by Bucket, right? So these are things which I want to show to you, right? Now I go whether I have the same thing second hub. Okay. So I'm just going to the this particular hub right now. This is the second hub which we provisioned, right? Second hub. Okay. Now you see for Pune. Okay. Now one thing we have to understand that if I go to this my second hub, the project specifically, go to my project. This is my project, right? We just created this one, right? This project here. So if I click on this project, what the second step? What have we done? Step one, what we've done, we're creating a AI project with the hub, right? Now I want to provision my OpenAI service because with OpenAI service, I want to ask questions. I can't in this particular method, there's no service created for me. So what I will do, I will create a new OpenAI service first. So first step is to create a project. Second step is to do the provision a new OpenAI service, right? So what I will do, my second step I will create something called as a new open AI service, right? What I'm doing, I just want to create a prompt flow, right? So what I will do, I create on the project called as a resource name, and I will use East US, and I put a demo for Pune UG. Okay, and then I will go and search for the set. So this is something I pricing to tier has to be finalized. If you can't do it, because maybe if you don't have pricing, it will be second thing. These after this my demo, I will delete all my models because these are very few things are very costly. As even for me, so I just go for that. I click on the network now. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm creating a new OpenAI service. Okay, I click on create. Okay, now for demo is okay, but for the production services, you never ever click on the all network. People will actually fire you immediately. Always select a specific network and then a subnet, right? So that only specific users can access that network. Okay, so this is the demos is okay. And third thing, I will also go for as a Azure governance specifically. I search my name and also put as a OpenAI service. Okay, what I'm doing, it just getting sense. Why I'm doing it? Because many organizations, each department has a different billing for Azure. For example, I'm from IT department. I will be charged for the resources for IT department. I'm from finance department. I'm one of the organization which has a finance department. Then people who are finance department, they have to also put the tax. If they don't do it, then very difficult to track the budgeting of that. So I've seen with very large organizations, they always do because of the each billing will be are charged back to the that department. So this is called as AI governance. I'm not talking about that in general. I'm talking about as a best practices which I do for Azure, right? I do a lot of Azure projects, so I just want to give input for that. Okay, and then what will happen? Now I have this thing done with this. So I see that I have done this service. I click on that and I will click on create. Okay. Now I won't do it. Okay. Well, let me create and then I show you that. Okay. So you get the idea that what I'm trying to explain to you. Now it takes some time. So I already have one service already provision, which is opening a services, which is this one. Okay, now it's still not provisioned. So this is that's why it takes some time. So that's why this one already provisioned earlier. So all things are here inside, right? Now, one thing I have to do is I have to go to the my open I go to Azure OpenAI Studio, okay, and then I will select which models I have to select for the my prompt flow. Okay, this is the new UI. This is a new UI for the OpenAI, right? So what I will do, I go create a new model, which is called as, so you see, deploy a new model. What I will do, I create, you see, these are all the models which ChatGPT has. So ChatGPT 4, 5, 6, and you see there's some preview also. So when you see, is that this is not available. So this lock one, which means I can't deploy it. So what I want to do, I want to deploy only ChatGPT 4. Okay, and click on confirmation, right? So you see how it works, that when you're working on the ChatGPT 4, then your API will be also be changed. So you always come, because when you work on the REST APIs, right, always check what is the model number, what is the function they can use it. Okay, so I click on confirm, and then what I will do, I will just inside, I do some configuration in my ChatGPT model, right? You see that there are a lot of ways I can do it. This is the default one. I'm using default one. And there are different ways I can do deployment as well. I can do standard or do provision and managing. The problem with that is a price is very high here. So I go for standard, it's much easier. And then another thing, we can do the limit. So I can put 40K, 50K, doesn't matter, right? I use a default one, which is 10K, right? And then a content filter. Now, you must be knowing that what is content filter? That if you go for any AI application, I said that I want to kill someone, I want to kill a pet, right? ChatGPT will say, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. So same thing, kind filtering is Microsoft also provide, but it's called as a default filter. But what we show, if we show you whether that categories, example, I put something which is not correct information, whether it's and the medium prompt, or is a hate thing, or a sexual image or something is shown up, or the self harm, somebody's coming to suicide. Those kind of things will be shown up in that. So these are very important to take note when you are deploying any AI model. Microsoft always have a default content filter which you can customize, okay, right? So I'm not doing it because I already have this model which is here, already deployed it. So step two are done. What we have done, step one is done. We have created a project for AI project. Now what we have to do is go back to our prompt flow. Where is the prompt flow? Prompt flow is here. Is here? It's here. Let's go to this one. Okay, let me go to the projects. I already have a lot of projects here. Let me go to a project which I was working previously. Yeah, so let's go to this product. Why I'm doing, I'm not using it because when I do a deployment, I'm sure deployment, what I mean by deployment, I mean, do a new service in prompt flow, it takes 20 to 25 minutes, and I don't waste your time, right? So that's why, although I just shown you that how we can use it, but for when I provisioning a prompt flow, it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes. Last time it took me 20 minutes. So that's why I'm just already provisioned something which is you can see directly, right? So what I'm going to going to the hub, all right? And in this hub, I have projects, right? Right. So these are the things which I've done, right? Now, Aroh, this is done. I know I ensured me all the steps. We show the project. You do the how to provide the AI Studio, OpenAI service. How we can actually create a new prompt flow. What are the steps for that? But before that, I want to show something very important as well, right? I know that I will be overshooting a bit today, but I want to show this very important. I want to tell you about the model benchmarks. You heard about the mobile benchmarks, the iPhones, Samsungs, and all about, I don't know what other models we have, but yeah, Samsung iPhones, right? They always have a benchmark about the CPU, RAM, and all. Same thing we have also in our AI studio as well, right? Which model is doing better, right? Now we see here, I know it's very different to see, but I just want to go ChatGPT 4 and the last one. You see, there's a lot of models, a lot of models are there. You see the accuracy of the models. Yeah, see that one on the data set. So based on your data set and the OpenAI models, you can see which models is best for your solution. So I told you about five project people who contacted me. I keep asking them what kind of model do you want to use it. Is it open source like Hugging Face or other things, or you want to use OpenAI? Based on that, I can give you a solution, give you a right answer, right? That's why I'm giving this question to you, that based on your model, what kind of model you want to use it, only use those models. Don't use anything which doesn't make sense for you, right? So I'm using OpenAI because prompt flow can work for all other things, but because it's a first slot about how the prompt flow works, I will give you how it works. Okay. And then also what we can do is that we can do some evaluation, right? Groundedness we are talking about. Groundedness, what I mean is that how data is corrected, whether it's the information which we have is correct information. Example, I asked you about whether it's a Gandhiji birthday is 2nd October or not, and the model give you incorrect information is 10 October. That's not grounded. It's a hallucination. It's not a right information. Same thing for relevance, whether we have right information, whether it's a fluency in the model. Many ways we can do evaluation models. So I mentioned to you let's go and click on the new prompt flow. You get an idea, right? Now we go into this first way, how to create a new prompt flow. Okay. And in this model, I'm not giving you anything which is from a coding perspective. I show you how the code works, but at least in the next session, I give you how we can create it from scratch. So, okay, let's do something from the template. So I'm going to click on model, and I showed you in my PPTs that we have three types of flow we can leverage. Standard flow, chat flow, and the evaluation flow. Evaluation flow is mostly checking the criteria of the model, whether they are good or not. Chat flow typically using for the UI, right? For the UI, whether it's good. And third is about the standard flow, right? Using Python code. So let's work on something called as um, a classification model, right? Very basic model at the time. So I click on the clone. Again, I just make a copy. I just want to see how this web classification works for me. Okay, so I click on clone, and I will just click on the uh, demo for Pune. Okay, flow. Okay, and then I click on flow. So what will happen is that it will create some artifacts. Again, it creates some artifacts, and within that artifacts, I can create many things inside. Okay, this is a sample, right? Don't get overboarded. Okay, Aroh, I have no idea what's I'm. I give you step by step what it means, because I showed in screenshot as well, right? Now, first thing first, I want to show you what it means, what is happening inside. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is that the graph. You see the graph? The graph. This is the input. This is the input where I'm asking a user to asking about this particular web URL, right? So I go to this web URL. Sorry, I copy this URL and see. So I have to ask this question. Think about now. This is a very basic use case, but again, when you work on the private service, obviously it will be in your Azure service, not a private endpoint, will be a private endpoint, but this is the demo says okay, right? So here I want to ask some questions. Maybe the user want to ask about question about how my Xbox cost, what is the cost, and is the refurbishment is good or not. So these are some samples which are given to me. Just for example, right? It's a sample only, right? So this is I'm working on that, right? So this is the thing. This is my graph, right? And then this is my input, right? Input is about the string. String we can have multiple ways, but again, I'm using this sample for this. Okay, right? So what we are doing in this, we are getting an input from the user, and then we are fetching the URL. This is the URL, right? And then we using something called as, if you click on this, we are using a Python code. A Python code, you see, Python code is here, Python code is here. And then we are actually retrieving uh, so and importing a service a package, but it's called as a BS4, but it's called uh, a beautiful soup, right? This is one to integrate the things from our package, right? So what I'm trying to do here, just want to fetch this tool and I have some headers and asking this question as a parser. So if this information is correct, then it will go to the next step for me. Okay, I'm not going to in depth on that because we are just fetching the URL and we're just fetching the things from this Python code. Okay, Python code just like your Power Automate, right? We call the headers and responses. Same thing we are doing but using in the Python way. Okay, so this we are doing right now. Then later, what we are trying to do is that we then classify. We do the summarize the we are also do summarization, right? So we also summarize that we have to give some examples, right? Summarize. So what things can be done. So we are also, I mentioned to you in my PPT, is that for templating we use something called as a Jinja 2. Jinja 2 is a templating thing so that the user can use a template. This is you see, I can have some template and then it will go to my engine. Which engine? My LLM engine. So what first I've done, I'm just parsing my information from the user, right? Using the fetch, using the package from the beautiful scope, and then I'm doing some summarization as well using the Jinja 2 template. Okay, and the third thing, what I'm doing, given examples. Right now, very important that for prompt engineering, this is the prompt engineering part. You have to give examples because LLM has no idea what this app does. So without giving examples, it will be totally clueless, right? About the Gandhiji's birthday thing will be totally useless if we don't give examples, right? So example, if I give you that Spotify, it will give you the category will be is an app and can work both web version also on the mobile as well. So this is as an example that I'm giving to the in this template. Okay, another template about NFS. This is another is a YouTube channel and also categorization. So in this example, what we are doing, we're giving two things. We are retrieving. We're getting whether what is a category and what is the evidence. What kind of things is doing it, right? So that's why it's classification. This is the example of classification, right? The another example which I'm giving an example is about the visual ChatGPT, what it does. Then it give me an example is this category is academic and also something called as a text content. So these examples are super important for us to do it. Okay. And then what we will do on the next step is the classify. Classify is the way that I will do summarization, what kind content I have, and then give me the output. Okay. Once that is done, my LLM is done. This is LLM I'm giving to you output. Then LLM actually do this output for me for the as the end users. Okay, you see that input and output, and then it will convert as a dictionary item. That is the only thing I'm doing at this point of time. Okay, you can have a prompt and Python, but I'm not into this level. But there's something to take note that we have to choose connections. Right now, I haven't done any connections because remember I have my OpenAI service. So I've choose my OpenAI services which are deployed previously. So I will choose which one. I will use my prompt flow and I will use deployment method called as a ChatGPT 4. Okay. And then a response time, I will put ChatGPT, sorry, I use the text model and tokens, I will just put as 500. That is something which I will do. Okay. That is how I will do. So this is something which is very easy to do it right now. And just I put max token 500. Any tokens, I mean, I gave a session previously, but tokens is the number of items you can retrieve so far that. So that is my first thing I've done. Okay. The second thing I will do is my uh, LLM as well. Where is my LLM code? Is here. Uh, which is where is the LLM code is here. Let me go to the summarize. Where is my summarize? Here's summarize code here. Yeah. So I have to choose this one as well. So I go to summarize code. I will choose this thing. So that's why it's important to set up your OpenAI connections first and then consume it in your prompt flows. Okay. And I will click on this. I will click on this, and then I click on save. Okay. Now, one thing to take note as well, that I have to start my compute because you are running on the virtual machine behind the scenes, right? So if I click on this, it will take at least 10-15 minutes. So I already done the hard work so that rather than you don't waste time here, let me go to prompt flow, which I have done previously. And then I will delete it because it's a very costly. The on a day it's okay, but on the monthly it's very costly. The the service, right? So I just want to show same thing, but I show you with you, right? So I'm just want to show you that we have a model, this thing, right? I just use this one for my thing. Okay, I save it. I do the compute now. Okay, that might take some time to do. The compute takes some time because it's starting a VM behind the scenes, and then it will do a proper defined. I don't know how much time it will take, but I have screenshots so that you can see the things. Because I don't know, I'm overshoot by 10 minutes maybe, but I'll show you how it works. The thing. So when you click on this button compute, when you click the run, you will see that you will see this button. This is the prompt flow is executing. You see that it's executing. It's in the green check, and then when it's computed, it will give me all things as a green checks, which means my prompt flow is successfully done. Is completed and successfully done. Then what I can do, I click on my trace and see the output. In my output, I can see what is that this app is. The app is mostly done for our app and for the context. So this is the thing, you can see the things. And how many tokens that app use is this 1232 are tokens used for that. So LLM, if you use more tokens, more cost will be increased, right? So when you're working on the OpenAI services, right, ensure that you stop service and delete the resources. Because if you do it, if you forget to do it, the charge will be too much for you, right? And I have seen this thing. I think 4 years back, I was doing a testing for one of the multi-cloud for multi-region things, and I forgot to stop the things, and I was charged 4,000 USD. 4,000 USD is a big thing, and I talked to my manager, and then luckily my manager was very kind enough. He said, "No issue, Aroh. Maybe in next project we can recover from the for customer." So, but we did a very successful project next year. So it was, we got all the uh, everything was in green. We didn't have any problem in the revenue that time. But again, $4,000 USD is pretty big number. I will say just for testing is a big number. For deployment, production is okay, but I was doing simple testing, so it's not a good thing, right? So we can do similar thing for the Microsoft Learn as well. I don't know if the service is working or it takes some time, but we can replace this thing with the Microsoft Learn as well. Okay, so again, you get an idea, but I don't know why. It's because I already checked it today in morning, just half an hour back. Now I want to show end-to-end result that how it work, but now the compute always take 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes as well. So I don't want to waste your time, but I have screenshots which I shared with you on that. So at least you have an idea that how the prompt flow works and what is the beauty of that. Why the prompt flow are slightly more stronger in terms of the capabilities and flexibilities that we can use it for your own things in your production environment and all. So that's it. I want to wait for that thing. I just want to close this thing out. And if any questions you have, you can ask me that.